You have 5 minutes for your speech and then Q&A for 3 to 4 minutes.
Hello everyone, my name is Shravan, Manoj, and I would like to present my idea, a kinetic energy-based generator. Okay, so in the world today, there are billions of electricity-powered devices that are utilized by millions of people all over the world every single day. But what powers these devices? These devices are powered by the burning of fossil fuels, and as we all know, the burning of fossil fuels is detrimental to the health of our planet and therefore future generations of all species on Earth. The only way to stop the already apparent effects of global warming is to switch to renewable sources of energy. I want to create a product that utilizes research on electromagnetism, magnetic induction, pendulums, and energy storage devices to allow regular people, like you and me, to generate clean, renewable energy and reduce their carbon footprint. This product will be designed around the consumer, so comfort and convenience are two of the top priorities. This will allow consumers to generate clean energy while performing minimal additional effort while using my device. So what is the device? So it will consist of like a wooden frame, which are attached to sets of neodymium magnets, which are some of the world's most powerful magnets. It will also involve a pendulum that will be wrapped tightly with insulated copper wire, and as well as a supercapacitor that will eventually store the energy produced by the device. And for consumer practicality, a wooden brace that can attach to a person's arm or a leg will also be used. So what is the science behind this device? So as a person moves around their daily life, the kinetic energy from their motions will oscillate a pendulum with the copper wire back and forth between the combined magnetic field produced by the neodymium magnets. So the electron interactions between the copper metal and those moving freely in the magnetic field cause extra electrons to move through the copper wire into the supercapacitor, which is basically generated electricity. So what are the advantages of this device? So the device is reasonably priced, which we'll cover soon, and it should conveniently fit up around a person's arm or leg. So once it's attached and a person can use it, a person can go around their daily life. They don't have to do any extra motions, and just as they're moving around, their movement will enable the device to generate electricity. So I've done some preliminary testing with a very basic prototype, and it has been confirmed that the device actually works and can produce electricity. So people can use electricity generated from this device to power their personal devices or appliances, and in the future, with continual improvements to the device, enough energy can be generated and stored to put towards people's electricity bills, which will save consumers money, and that further incentivizes the sale of the device. So let's look at some statistics. So for my first prototype, it cost around $40 to produce. However, when we can migrate it to large-scale manufacturing, we can use economies of scale and wholesale purchasing in order to make the price of each unit much cheaper. So the mass-produced version can cost around $5, and we can sell it to people for around $10 to $15. So let's look at some sales. So the population of the United States is roughly 332 million people. Just 1% of Americans is over 3 million people. So if we can push the product to just 1% of Americans, then we can make almost $33 million. But this device isn't just constrained to the US markets. It can be used by people all over the world in almost any part of the world. But this is a new product, and I am just a regular new startup company. So we can be more modest about predicted sales. So let's say we can push the product to just 100,000 people. If we can get 100,000 sales, revenue would be roughly $1 million. So if we can get $1 million from just 100,000 sales, we can get the valuation of my company. So industry standards say that you can get the valuation of the company based on the company's revenue and multiply it by multiples of 3, 5, 10, etc. But we're going to be more conservative, and so if we multiply our company's revenue by 3, my company would be valued approximately at $3 million. So this is my proposal. I would like to offer investors 33% stake in my company for $1 million in funds. Investors, this is an opportunity to make some big money while also being part of a movement that will help ultimately save our planet. So who's with me? Thank you.
Any investors from the panel?
first prototype, it's about, you can say like this big, but when you move it to manufacturing and using an actual like detailed blueprint that's, you see my experts, you can reduce the size of the machine. So they can like easily fit around someone's arm or leg, so it's convenient.
So one thing, like the idea looks great. Some details like, okay, from the electricity, the motion that is getting generated, and through the electrodynamics and the pendulum, how is that getting transmitted?
Okay, so after the oscillation of the pendulum occurs, the electricity is transported through the copper wire through a rectifier circuit that's also attached to the device, and that converts like the AC electricity produced into DC electricity, which can be stored into the supercapacitor, and you can use that later.
So that's all attached to the device? Or?
Yeah.
Is your product expected to be waterproof?
That is a good question. I haven't tried that yet, but you can obviously like cover the entire build with some sort of waterproof material in order to account for that.
How much does it weigh?
Oh, wait, what?
How much does the product weigh?
I have not weighed it. Probably just a few pounds. Yeah.
Can you make it sound like one?
Well, okay. So the device produces electricity, and then it gets stored in a supercapacitor, and then you can attach the supercapacitor and extract energy and put it towards your phone.
So let me ask you. So in the 24-hour period, how much does it generate?
That would depend on how much a person moves. So the device is attached to a person's body somewhere there. So it depends on how active they are. So as they're moving around their daily lives, that directly causes the oscillation of the pendulum, which directly affects the amount of electricity produced. But so then that would depend on the person.
So like the healthy guy makes 10,000 steps a day, right? Yes.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
So with that, yeah, good. So maybe some numbers with that kind of assumptions would be.
I don't think I can make any predictions right now, but I will get back to you.
So it's like, we get a torch where we can wind it, right? So if we get into some place where we are lost, then I think you can run around and charge your phone.
I mean,
Maybe
yeah, it's possible.
So I have a suggestion for you. If you check out the world's largest non-profit organization, the Boy Scouts of America, they have a whole lot of products that are used in remote areas because these guys camp a lot, they go to secluded spaces and whatnot. They need a lot of energy. There's flashlights, there's all kinds of devices they carry. These are big troops, anywhere from 50 to 150 boys and scout masters and whatnot. The Scout Store sells a very creative products. As you evolve your idea, there's a lot of movement. I'm sure you agree, right? As you evolve your idea, very serious about it. You might want to start talking to target end users and find out if I build something like this, what would it take? Maybe calling up Boy Scouts of America or the right here status and ask, what would it take if I came up with my and get feedback from the market. Solving issues. I feel there's a lot of more to do. There's passion about the idea. It starts with the end user. What would you like to see if I give you something like this? You're an outdoorsy person. You hike, you camp, you do this, etc. What if I were to make you buy that product, what do you look for? What do you look for?
So you want me to like make it so that it targets specific consumers? You're saying?
You will get validation from the users you're targeting to say, right? You need that. Right now it's your idea, your thoughts. It's a great idea, right? What's the end user thinking? That homework I think will help you validate your idea more.
Thank you.
One other suggestion for you, if somebody wrote a check for $1 million, what will you do with user funds?
Okay, I will use the funds for further research because for my first prototype, obviously it's pretty large, it's pretty bulky, so I would use the money to further research to see what other types of magnets would work, how can I reduce the size, how can I make the machine more efficient, and then as you were saying, as consumers see what needs to be fixed, what needs to be improved, So further just research to improve the device. Any other questions?
Cool.
Thank you, Shravan. That's a good start, a very confident start.